Hello everyone, thank you for joining today's Words of Wisdom. I'm Yushi from New York. I'd like to quote today's Words of Wisdom from January 19th. In the case of religious practitioners, the devils will make a final fierce attack on them just before they attain enlightenment. This has happened throughout history. It happened to Shakyamuni Buddha as well as to Jesus from the Laws of Secret. Thank you, Lord. So in this Kyoten, the Laws of Secret, Master Ryuho Okawa has talked many things on many topics on how to protect ourselves from spiritual disturbance or attack of evil spirits. And one of them is how to protect ourselves from demons or devils. Now, in the case of religious practitioners, it happens. He used the example of Shakyamuni Buddha and Jesus. So historically, yes, it's happened to them and other religious leaders or messiahs or prophets. But that doesn't mean that it won't happen to us either. Of course, it won't be as fierce as them because they're great messiah beings, messiah-like beings. But for us, though, for religious practitioners who are truly really devoting ourselves for a spiritual progress for the purpose of bringing betterment to society. Let's just try to put yourself in the shoes of the devils. If there is someone who's about to become stronger and more filled with light, full of wisdom in an influential position, don't you want to shoot him down before he gets that much influence? Right? Because the more light spreads, darkness loses. And in the principles of happy science, we're taught that every living thing is a child of God, but we need an energy source. In the spiritual world, we're already a spirit, so we don't eat food. But what's the source of the spirituality or their spiritual energy? It's actually the sun, the spiritual sun that exists in the heavenly world, which is kind of like a reflection of God's light, or God himself. So, however, in hell, because there's so much dark thoughts that has turned into a dark cloud that blocks the sunlight. So then how do hellish beings gain spiritual energy for them to exist? It's actually by possessing people on earth who has the same negative tendency, because if you have a negative thought, thoughts are things, and that spiritual energy turns into their food or their energy source. So they latch onto you and they suck it up, and unfortunately they don't suck out the evil thoughts out of you, but what they do is they amplify that feeling inside your heart so that you produce more of that negative energy, and hence spiritual possession can lead to destruction and life. Anyhow, because that's how this world works, the more light spreads, the less energy source the devils will have. So there will be times when they will attack you. And that is when we say, your faith is tested. Your faith is being tested. Usually, it can come from a faith or a value system. Let's say that you've adopted, we're all biased, right? We all grew up in different situations, different circumstances, different countries, different schools, different parents. All of that is a variable that changes our view of life. So what happens is we start adopting a values judgment, a values system of what's right or wrong, what should be prioritized, what shouldn't be. And however, when you learn God's teachings, obviously you're not God, so there will be conflicting values. And when these two values conflict, what do you believe? Do you believe in your small self? Or do you believe in the wiser, grander perspective that comes from God and the Messiah? So, that is a devil's temptation. Which side do you take? What do you believe? There's also more subtle ones. I just don't feel like wanting to go to the temple today. Or, I don't want to go meet the Happy Science members today. Or, not having to pray today is just fine. These are small devil's temptations that is little by little attacking you to further yourself away from faith. Also, there are the big ones where, unfortunately, even if you are protected, they come at your family, especially the close ones, the most vulnerable ones, and they try to cause pain in your household. let's say that it gets into your child and he or she becomes delinquent, and you have to take care more about him going to the principal's office while you rather wanted to come to the Happy Science Temple to volunteer. So these two agendas conflict, right? So the devils can use that tactic too. But either way, the devils do attack us. So that's why it's very important for us to learn how to overcome them. One is obviously always check the 6 poisons of the mind. Always check the 6 poisons of the mind. If you're a beginner, the first 3, greed, anger, and foolishness. If you are a professional, or if you've been disciplining yourself as a religious practitioner for a long time, it's the latter 3, which is arrogance or pride, and then wrong views. Arrogance, pride, doubt, and wrong views. These 3 can really easily catch us and trip us. So it's very important to be attentive to these 6 poisons of the mind daily. Unless we do it daily, it accumulates, and then we get swept off our feet, so off the ground. So we really have to be careful. Also, Master is talking about Shakyamuni Buddha and Jesus, so the great enlightened beings, messiahs, also go through this. To know more about what happened to Master Okawa before he attained his enlightenment, I really recommend you watching the movie Twice Born. You can watch it on video on demand, or you can also buy the DVD on Amazon or purchase it at our temples. But by watching the movie Twice Born, you'll understand the modern day devil quelling, or the modern day fight that the Messiah had to go through with the devil to be able to achieve enlightenment. It's a very touching real life story, and it's there's a lot of life lessons to learn from too. All right, so let me end today's words of wisdom by quoting it. In the case of religious practitioners, the devils make a final fierce attack on them just before they attain enlightenment. This has happened throughout history. It happened to Shakyamuni Buddha as well as to Jesus from the Laws of Secret. Sorry, I just read it and I forgot a very important point. Fierce attack on them just before they attain enlightenment. So when you are being fiercely attacked, it means that you're on the verge of becoming more enlightened, becoming a new you. So grit through it, okay? Do not give up. There's always that parable, the 3 inches and the diamond acre. I don't know how it goes, but there was a person who was digging holes to find a diamond acre, and he gave up just 3 inches before he got to the diamond. So never give up. In the harshest times, it's kind of like, it's the darkest before the dawn. So yeah, just don't give up. You're on the verge of enlightenment. All right, that is it. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.